Well, good afternoon from just slightly west of Amulree. I'm sitting on the Glen Quake Road. I've zipped up to get some purple heather. So I've pulled in one of those, I walk along actually, I've pulled in here for that purpose. And it'll be pretty scarce, the purple heather at this time of year, but I'll try and get a couple of sprigs if there's anything sheltered. I wasn't going to do another vlog. I just decided that it'll pass away an hour tonight just loading it, but I'm opposite very familiar Crieff, or Crieff as I call it. Yeah, and quite blustery up here today. Quite blustery indeed. If you see the grasses, you'll see what I mean. Yeah, so I was just thinking coming through the glen, well, I suppose there's a couple of dates just so far apart, eh? I remember when Up and Down went away to convent overseas, and she took off on the 3rd of October. Doesn't matter what year now, it's a long time ago, but when she left on the 3rd of October, I certainly went in a downward spiral. I sorely missed her. I really did. And I remember that very day quite clearly. A very day similar to this actually, when it was sunshine and dampness, and the leaves weren't scuttling along the dry pavements. They were more embedded in the pavements, you understand? And I was very upset. A friend of mine, just thinking back, it's very strange. I'm not going to say on camera, but just something came to my mind there and it just clicked. But a female friend of mine stopped in the car and said to me, Are you suffering from something today, Andrew? I says, yes, melancholy. The first stages of melancholy and sadness and heartbreak. I didn't give anything away. I quite think that particular date triggered off my seasonal affective disorder. The very start of gloom and doom. It's always been a trigger in the early part of, well, certainly by October, November time. So that date, the 3rd of October. And then I go back to the 3rd of June this year. And myself and Up and Down went for a little jaunt in the glens and by the riverside. It was a reasonably happy day. But something out of mid-air created a catalyst for departure. And it's been a difficult time, this departure. You would think after so many departures that the mind and body and soul will get used to it, but it doesn't. It doesn't. I've said before, one heartbreak doesn't solve all other heartbreaks. It's just how you cope. That's the only difference. But if you really care for somebody and you really love somebody, it's such an intensity, that feeling of loss. Sometimes you feel betrayed, but I think in up and down circumstances, I don't cast a light on that type of idea because I know her too well, and I think that it's her way of dealing with things. It's a protection that she has developed. As I say, from the early days when she went to convent, the whole purpose was to get away from the situation which involved her falling in love, so that was her coping mechanism. She felt if she got away, everything between us would eventually evaporate and the love would be extinguished, but of course that was never the case. It's a lovely wild day, isn't it? It's a lovely wild day to blow away any bad memories and think about good times and happy times, past, present and future. Yeah, the winds are calling out both our names today. And the new moon in Scorpio is definitely, quite unusually, creating quite a love bubble in the sky. I don't feel quite so blue today. I sometimes think that she may be feeling a bit sad and having her head on the pillow for too long and thinking things and regretting things and wondering about things, but my message to her is don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm still here. Whatever is meant to be will be, and there's no point in being overly sad. Although I've had my own share of sadness, and I've felt it very, very much these last weeks, despite my enormous strength and optimism and inner sense of humour. It still has left me with a bit of a brain fog and a bit of a heavy heart and a bit of a heaviness. But, I think when we talk about the figure of 8 that we have done before, it's quite simply true. I know there will, as much as there's been a departure, there will always be from the centre of the figure of 8, there will always be a reconciliation to meet at the centre of the number 8, the infinity symbol once more. I'm quite sure, and I think she's quite sure that will be the case too. I do hope so. There is a true saying that, if you're prone to any types of depression, then you need to see the sunshine. That's what it's there for. If you ever go into out into the landscape and you find yourself in a bit of a hollow where the sun never finds itself, I always find that the vegetation is always rather sad, and there's always an eeriness of the atmosphere and dank hollow, like a quarry or something. Somewhere where the sun never illuminates. There's always a feeling of foreboding and I don't know, it's just not good. But wherever the sun shines, if the sun shines in your eyes, it will shine in your heart. You don't need the temperature to be enormous to enjoy the sunshine. But the sunshine is a big bowl of love. I am absolutely fascinated by everything. I really am. I'm absolutely fascinated by everything that happens in the esoteric. Not so much what happens on the news or what is the drivel that is served up in the newspapers or what is on offer in the sporting world, which I couldn't give a shit about. But when it comes to clouds and the moon and the sun and the stars, then I get really excited. I find it very enthralling altogether. It's one of the things that makes me think of up and down is when I don't see her, I still know she's there. So if you were to look up into the sky, when you look at the sky during the day, you cannot see the stars. But that doesn't mean the stars aren't there. It just means that they're not visible in the daylight. Well, that's like up and down. Just because I don't see her doesn't mean I'm not close to her. And she's not close to me.